Many Christians have been taught that forgiving someone entails giving them endless opportunities to harm them. They feel that God will view them as resentful if they distance themselves from the person, turn down another request, or lose faith in them. However, forgiveness was never intended to render you defenseless. Jesus taught both mercy and wisdom. Although he had a great affection for individuals, not everyone had equal access to his life.
Learning to let go of anger without reverting to a harmful cycle is a sign of spiritual development. We'll look at how to protect your heart sensibly, forgive sincerely, and stop feeling bad about refusing to be hurt in the same manner again in this video. Before we start, write "Lord," comments. Teach me to forgive with wisdom. You don't have to deny the harm in order to be forgiven. Before they are ready to acknowledge that anything significant occurred, some people start discussing forgiveness. They claim that the person was most likely experiencing stress, confusion, fear, or a challenging time. They go into such detail to justify the behavior that the person who inflicted the suffering practically vanishes from the narrative. After a while, the injured individual starts to question if their feelings were justified. Not at all. Knowing someone's history can foster sympathy, but it doesn't change bad behavior into acceptable behavior. Even if someone was rejected as a child, they are still accountable for how they treat you now. Even if someone is under duress, they are still wrong to disrespect you. Even if a friend is insecure, they still don't have the right to tell others about your personal difficulties. Pardoning is not the practice of making up justifications till the crime doesn't seem genuine. Jesus did not tell his disciples to behave as if sin had never happened when he discussed conflict in Luke 17. He talked about forgiving others and facing wrongdoing. There was mercy as well as truth. That balance is important. If someone consistently made fun of you, coerced, you don't need to soften the facts to show that you have a nice heart if they have lied to you, taken advantage of your generosity, or punished you any time you disagreed with them. The real healing process starts when you stop saying, "It was not that bad," and start saying, "It hurt, it was incorrect, and I'm giving it to God." Worshipping the hurt is not the same as naming it. It just indicates that you are no longer avoiding reality. You cannot genuinely forgive while acting as though you have nothing to forgive. Forgiveness transforms your life, not just the people who walk by you. The first step in forgiveness is to work on your own heart. It lets go of the urge to exact personal punishment. It doesn't want to imagine their failure for years. Instead of constructing a life centered on retaliation, it entrusts justice to God. That release from within is distinct from determining the person's place in your life going forward. After betraying confidence, someone might no longer hold a close position. While losing access to personal information, someone else might still be a member of your family. Even if a former friend is treated with respect, they could not be invited back into the friendship. Many Christians are perplexed at this point. They think that keeping a distance indicates that forgiveness has failed. In actuality, distance can only be a reflection of what was discovered. Let's say you revealed your most private problems to someone, and they then used that information to humiliate you. The want to humiliate them in return could be eliminated by forgiveness. Wisdom may still keep you from giving them sensitive information in the future. Let's say someone took out multiple loans, but never fulfilled their commitments. Giving another loan does not equate to venting rage. You don't have to pay for the next fraud in order to pardon this one. The debt in your heart is dealt with by forgiveness. You have the authority to access deals. God could ask you to let go of your resentment while simultaneously demonstrating to you that the relationship cannot continue in its current state. Jesus did not entrust himself to everyone, even though he loved them all. Christians tend to think of love as total transparency. They believe that loving someone entails providing them with unrestricted access to their private lives, time, emotions, and energy. However, Jesus did not lead such a life. According to John 2, a lot of people came to believe in Jesus after witnessing his miracles, but because he was aware of human nature, he did not trust them. Jesus did not harbor resentment. His lack of confidence did not make him suspicious. He had amazing insight. He recognized that someone could be impressed by him without being devoted to him. A miracle could be enjoyed by someone who isn't prepared to pursue the truth. Personal access was not always the result of public enthusiasm. Throughout his ministry, the same pattern emerges. Jesus occasionally withdrew from crowds. He walked away from others who wanted to trap him. He refused to answer every accusation. Before the scheduled time, he left areas where people were trying to kill him. His affection was boundless, but he had a purpose behind his availability. This is important because becoming accessible to everyone who wants anything from you does not equate to spiritual development. You might pray for someone from a distance out of love. Speaking without malice and refusing to reestablish a damaging relationship are examples of kindness. Being compassionate can exist without allowing someone to affect your choices. Jesus never equated love with negligence. We shouldn't either. An apology is a start, not evidence that everything has changed. Certain apologies seem strong at the time. They might cry, talk quietly, acknowledge that they miss you, and swear that it won't happen again. You might feel sympathy for them if you still have feelings for them. However, feeling alone cannot fix a pattern. Someone can feel sorry for themselves since they are no longer able to get your help. They might be more sorry about the results than the action itself. They can be afraid of your remoteness without realizing why it was essential. Biblical repentance is more than just remorse. Godly sorrow leads to repentance, according to 2 Corinthians 7. Godly grief does more than just try to ease suffering. It shifts course. A regretful individual learns to accept the harm without taking charge of the discussion. They spend 20 minutes demonstrating that you were primarily to blame for the incident without offering an apology. They reject all forms of accountability and do not cite biblical passages about forgiveness. Humility is a component of true repentance. Even when they might not articulate things clearly, their attitude starts to shift. They become teachable. They no longer insist on instant trust. They understand that it will take time to repair what they damaged. Although it may pave the way for reconciliation, an apology does not finish the process. Words express intent. Character is revealed over time. Because of this, Christians who are spiritually mature do not make important choices only because it was an emotional conversation. They continue to be observant while maintaining compassion. Consistency, not coercion, is how trust is restored. Trust is frequently swiftly lost and painstakingly rebuilt. This fact may not sit well with the person who shattered it. They could think that apologizing will make things better. They accuse you of holding a grudge when that doesn't occur. Resentment. But trust is uncontrollable. When the truth is consistent, it grows. After the emotional crisis has passed, responsibility returns to normal, and the altered conduct persists. Consider a bridge that collapsed due to a poor foundation. No one will feel comfortable crossing the bridge if the damaged parts are painted over and the safety of the structure is assured. The structure has to be strengthened, tested, and reconstructed. Trust functions similarly. It may be necessary for someone who has lied frequently to act honestly in everyday circumstances. It could be necessary for someone who disregards all boundaries to demonstrate that they can accept rejection without turning aggressive. Before the partnership seems safe, someone who vanished anytime you needed help might need to start becoming dependable. The objective is not flawless. Everybody makes errors. During the process of change, even sincere people might fail. How people react after failing is what counts. Do they take criticism well and keep improving, or do they get defensive and assign blame? This isn't about questioning someone all the time. It's about letting life show whether their words have become off.
A component of their personality. Consistent change doesn't have to constantly promote itself. Naturally, it becomes apparent. Joseph did not act as though the past had never occurred. Instead, he forgave his brothers.